Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Hope you're all fit and well. Well, as you can tell from the new eyewear, we had a very nice Christmas lunch yesterday afternoon. The food at the Black Horse in Reigate was really good indeed, but the company was even better. Funny thing is, it was me, Neil Edwards, and a mutual friend from the world of demolition, and yet we spent about 10 minutes talking shop basically, and then spent about 3 hours complaining about our various ailments. I guess that's what happens when you reach a certain age. I'm going to say a very quick good morning to Ken Hatcher, who's just joined us. I know other people are here, but I haven't had a chance to press all the buttons yet. Now, about a week ago, I predicted that the flow of video content would probably dry up as we slid inexorably to the end of the year. Well, so far, I've been proven wrong. We've got another packed show for you today, featuring small machines, big machines, and at least one machine you're unlikely to encounter in the wild anytime soon. So, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. That's better. I couldn't see a damn thing through those glasses. But thank you very much indeed. Who was it? Andy Dalvella said, yeah, love the hat glasses combo. Yes, I may be giving those an outing at some point next week as well. And we've got somebody called, I'm not going to try the surname, but somebody called Yash watching over on YouTube. So good morning to you. Don't remember seeing you here before, so let me give you your welcome confetti. Yash, thank you for joining us. No idea where in the world you are, no idea why you've come here, but you're welcome. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Yes, it is. What is it? It is a Friday, the 15th of December. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we're celebrating, let me get rid of that just very quickly. We're celebrating 3 decades of a sleek back end, which will make sense in just a second. A Kobelco excavator strips cars to its core components. A small Bobcat loader brings big versatility, and Dutch demolition from way on high. Plus, we're going large with an awesome Hitachi hauler. But first, we're going to peer back through the mist of time to see what was happening on this day in history. Dan Cullen, good morning. Imagine 11 days' time, this will all be over. Christmas will, but my Christmas break will not. I've got plenty of time after that. Chris Will, good morning, gang. Have we got health and safety on the job? Oh, dear. Yes, the old ones are the best, aren't they? Now, on this day in 1840, Napoleon received a French state funeral in Paris. 19 years after he died. You can't rush these things, can you? In 1939, the movie Gone with the Wind premiered in Atlanta. Although, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I think that's what the quote is, isn't it? In 1941, American bandleader Glenn Miller went missing over the English Channel, never to be found. In 1965, the year of my birth, Johnny Cash released his song Folsom Prison Blues. And in 1997, the Spice Girls movie Spice World premiered in the UK. And who didn't queue up to go and see it? Yes. Now, before we get to the real meat of the show, let me remind you of our question of the day. And I'm saying remind you, I don't think I even pressed the button. So I'll do both of those things. Yeah, our resident quizmaster, Mr. Gary Muirhead, has come up with yet another festive corker, and it is this. And it's not as easy as it looks. So let me just clarify. What is your favourite Christmas or New Year drink? But the real crux of this is, what is something that you drink during the festivities, but at no other time of the year? I don't drink either of them myself, but my wife insists that there is always sherry and a snowball or two in the house at Christmas. No idea why. Wouldn't think to drink either of those things the rest of the year, but come Christmas, apparently they are both a necessity. But what about you? What do you have in the house as your Christmas tipple that you don't have any other time of the year? We'll come back to that at the end of the show. Now, let's start the show, shall we? I was going to say a very quick good morning to the legend that is Tristan Mays. Mark, hope you're well. All fit and well here, my friend. I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming Tristan is coming to us all the way from the States. Tristan, give us an update. Whereabouts in the world are you? Yes, I was talking about all things newsy, wasn't I? I know our Dig Fact Quiz of the Year happened on Wednesday, but I've got an additional, and it's not a rhetorical question, this one. How long do you reckon the zero tail swing excavator has been around? And I'm going to pause for just a moment and let you come up with your suggested answers, because it surprised me. How long do you think we have had zero tail swing excavators? Anybody, just while we're doing that, Tristan is actually in Canada at the moment, not in the States. He's in the nicer next door neighbor in Canada. Anybody, any ideas? See, Dan, I was with you. I thought it was about 15 years. Ken, you're far closer. Footy says 10 years. Well, in my head, it still seems like a pretty newfangled concept. But according to those fine folks at Yanmar, we've had excavators with no junk in their trunk for 30 years. Just like that. 30 years. Time flies when you're having fun. I think Ken Hatcher may actually be right. I thought it was Kobelco first. Yes, you could well be right, but the Vio is certainly 30 years old. Yeah, 30 years though. Personally, I was with Dan Cullen. I would have guessed if somebody had asked me just straight out, I would have said about 15 years. It just seems like yesterday. So, shall we have a bit of this? Because we've got another compact machine to come up.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Yeah, well, I think you'll all agree that the Yanmar Vio, something of a mini marvel. And here's another one. Only this one is from Bobcat.
For hard-working performance that's easy to use all year long, look to the small articulated loader from Bobcat. Designed for big jobs in small spaces, the L28 small articulated loader is compatible with more than 30 different Bobcat attachments. So whether you're pushing dirt, clearing snow, moving pallets of materials, or cleaning up brush, you can quickly adapt to just about any job that comes your way. With a rated operating capacity of 1,534 pounds, you have plenty of muscle for difficult tasks. The articulation joint helps to minimize disturbance of finished surfaces while enabling tight turns. The rear tires follow the front tires to avoid tearing up turf or leaving marks on concrete. Equipped with a steering wheel and joystick, operation is intuitive and easy to use. The L28 also has a telescoping lift arm, giving you extensive reach for a small machine. A dual-cylinder design helps keep the load level as you work, minimizing spillage over the back of the bucket. Make small work of your biggest tasks with Bobcat small articulated loaders. Check them out at your local Bobcat dealer or learn more at bobcat.com.
Don't get me wrong, I love a skid steer, but there's just something about those compact wheel loaders. If I had a back garden big enough to justify it. I'd love to own one of those. Completely unprompted, our friend Footy has said that machine from Bobcat is hot. Ken Hatcher is in full agreement. Dan Cullen is in full agreement. Regardless of whether I ask the question or not, hot. Great little kit in tight areas, most certainly is. Dan Cullen says, remember seeing that at Plant Works. And Jim Turner, going back to the Yanmar thing, we had a zero tail swing 3-ton Kubota over 20 years ago. I'd say proper size machines in the 90s. Yeah, and as Dan Cullen pointed out, maybe I was a little disingenuous with the original question. When you mentioned zero tail swings, I think everyone would think of a 13-ton plus on zero tail. Yeah, you're quite right. It probably came to that part of the market a lot sooner. But yeah, there we are. I think we need something new because we've got something quite sexy coming up for you next. Let's have a bit of this. Just a quick point from Andy Darvell. The only machine I've ever turned over was a roughneck skip loader, about the size of that Bobcat, but it had no stability whatsoever. The Bobcat looks a fantastically versatile tool, though. Only turned over one machine? You're not trying hard enough. I've turned over 2 telehandlers and a backhoe loader in my time. That's how good an operator I am. Now, we're going to take a very quick detour away from mainline construction equipment to check out something a bit more specialized. And we're going to be doing it in the company of Kobelco. You need to bear with me for a second there, because this one is residing on my computer and I need to pull it out of there. Bear with me for 2 seconds. This should do it.
Today at Saint-Mémy in France, we'll be showing the impressive SK140 SRD-7, a true powerhouse in the world of excavators. The dedicated base machine, boasting a reinforced car body, boom and arm, showcases Kobelco's commitment to excellence. Crafted from top-grade materials, it's engineered to tackle heavy-duty dismantling tasks, ensuring unparalleled longevity and durability. A closer look reveals the dedication to quality. With the SK140 SRD-7's exceptional smoothness and precision, it truly excels in the delicate task of removing wiring harnesses. This critical feature guarantees meticulous workmanship, setting a new standard for precision in the dismantling industry. Next in line is the multi-use dismantling nibbler, a versatile tool renowned for its lightweight design and precision. Its exceptional capabilities encompass cutting, grabbing, picking, and pulling, making it an indispensable asset in the car dismantling process. The clamp arm is a versatile tool that can pinch large or small objects. It's a key component for this machine and also quite unique. Whether navigating confined spaces, the SK140 SRD-7 excels in maneuverability and versatility, emerging as the preferred choice for any task. Despite its remarkable power, it has a compact radius footprint and weighs a total of 20.5 tons. This combination makes it a very high-performing machine that can handle a wide range of tasks with precision. Inside the SK140 SRD-7, a spacious and comfortable cabin awaits. Boasting increased visibility and openable front and top guards, it simplifies daily maintenance and offers a superior operator experience. An advanced cabin interference prevention system enhances safety by halting nibbler operations when proximity to the cabin is detected. Integrated microphone and outside speaker systems facilitate seamless communication between the operator and the job site personnel, ensuring efficiency and safety. Kobelco's renowned hydraulic system sets a standard for smoothness and ease of control, elevating work efficiency to new heights. Critical components, the boom cylinder guards, serve as the first line of defense against collisions and damage, ensuring the SK140 SRD-7's extended longevity. With a 3-camera system providing an eagle-eye view of the surroundings, safety and job efficiency are maximized. This comprehensive view ensures that no detail is missed, enhancing overall work safety and precision. One of the SK140 SRD-7's standout features is Kobelco's innovative INDR, which stands for Integrated Noise and Dust Reduction Cooling System. This system is a game changer, offering superior noise suppression that ensures a quieter working environment. But it doesn't stop there. INDR also excels in engine cooling, enhancing reliability and minimizing machine downtime. This results in a more comfortable and productive experience for the operator, setting new industry standards for noise reduction and efficiency. These remarkable features, from the reinforced base machine to the advanced cabin, hydraulic system, comprehensive camera system, and Kobelco's innovative INDR, Integrated Noise and Dust Reduction Cooling System, position the SK140 SRD-7 as the ultimate excavator, ready to conquer any challenge in the dismantling machine business. For more information about this incredible machine, visit the Kobelco website. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting innovations from Kobelco.
Pretty smart, right? I'm going to go over to the chat in just a second. I've said this before. I think that front grab thing, that could certainly have applications in demolition, which Dan Cullen picked up on. Great kit, but only for scrap. Would it be useful on a demo job? I think it probably would. Dan Cullen also says Kobelco is a great brand, and I'm going to stick with Dan Cullen because he did ask, have you not shown this before? I've shown something similar, but that film is literally 48 hours old. So no, we've shown something similar. It may have even been the same model or same brand or something like that, but that is a brand spanking new piece of video. Where have we got to? Yeah, Graham Footy Williams says, ingenious idea, what they did with that machine for stripping cars. Very specialized machine, particularly the nibbler. Nickname of one of my old girlfriends, but that's a whole other story. Shall we crack on? Having just said that, I think we probably should. Here we go.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Despite the fact that I very rarely set foot outside this office, the Breakfast Show itself has travelled all over the globe to bring you the very best footage from around the world of demolition, construction, quarrying and mining equipment. But I don't recall us ever visiting Zambia up until now. So should we put that right? I think we probably should.
Kansanshi mine in the northwestern province of Zambia is the largest copper mine in Africa and the 8th largest in the world. It has 1,700 employees and is owned and operated by Kansanshi Mining plc. The majority shareholding of 80% is held by a Canadian mining and exploration company, First Quantum Minerals. From an initial production capacity of 110,000 tons of copper in 2005, it is now capable of producing 240,000 tons of copper and more than 120,000 ounces of gold annually. Hitachi mining machines are supporting this development and are at the forefront of new and existing operations. First Quantum Minerals employs a fleet of EX hydraulic excavators and EH rigid dump trucks, including 2 new EH3500 AC-3s, incorporating trolley technology that were commissioned in December 2016.
2 EH3500 AC3 trolley trucks were delivered to Kansanshi Mine at the end of 2016. This model is a whole new approach to the dump truck market and presents great opportunities for Hitachi and its customers.
The biggest challenges are to increase productivity and reduce running costs, which is why Hitachi has been selected as the preferred supplier for the Hitachi trolley trucks. The EH3500 AC-3 is a diesel-electric truck that enables a secondary means of powering the wheel motors. It is easy to change from trolley to diesel or vice versa with the flick of a switch. When this is activated, Diesel-generated power is cancelled, and overhead catenary power is connected and diverted to the wheel motors through inverters and trolley switchbox. All of the trolley-related parts on the EH3500 AC-3 are produced by Hitachi. These are highly efficient, fully supported by the manufacturer, and have a long life expectancy.
The biggest advantages are improvements in productivity and cost savings.
There is also a lower risk of downtime, as they don't have a transmission or other complex components. The fuel consumption is approximately 90% lower than diesel mode, with low-cost electric power for better economy and reduced running costs.
When the trucks are under the trolley, we're doubling the speed that they would have done up the ramp. So it's a big time saver and a big money saver.
This is because the engine RPM on the Hitachi truck in trolley mode is lower than any competitor's diesel-electric machines or conventional diesel trucks. With the lower duty cycle, the life of the EH3500 AC-3's engine will be longer, and there will be less downtime and running costs due to the infrequency of engine rebuilding. It is also more environmentally friendly, with lower exhaust emissions and engine noise. The EH3500 AC-3 not only meets First Quantum Minerals' expectations, but it has also delivered what the mine needs in terms of payload and speed on the trolley line. It's all about productivity and saving costs, and as some of the trucks are getting near the end of their lifespan, the mine will certainly be looking to the future with Hitachi trolley trucks.
Awesome machines, amazing mine. I think you'll agree. I'm going to pop over to the chat very quickly. Dan Cullen, we were talking about the whether I'd replayed the Kobelco film. Yes, I think you're right. I think the last time we showed a machine like that, it was indeed a Hyundai. Thank you very much indeed for reminding me. Footy enjoyed the Hitachis. Awesome big machines, he says. See the autonomous and electric trucks, but will it actually cut costs as a supply of electricity? And in areas of Africa, they do a 4-hour power supply cut daily too. Did they? I didn't know that. Footy says that's a good idea for charging. Can we do it on cars? It takes us back to trams, doesn't it? As a friend of mine lived there, I had to buy a generator to run the house for 4 hours daily, 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. I wonder if that's still the case. And there's in the nicest possible way, there's Africa and there's Africa. You would think Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, you would think they'd got their power situation sorted out by now, but I don't know. If anybody has any further information on that, I'd love to hear from you. We've got one more film to come from you for you, so let's get this out of the way first.
If you would like to buy a limited edition Break Fast show sticker, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/demolition news /extras.
And we're going to play out today with a spot of Dutch demolition, all the way from Eindhoven. Yeah, I once worked for an American company that had its European base in Eindhoven. Spent many a long day and some even longer nights there. Even went to the PSV Eindhoven Stadium, the football stadium, twice. Didn't get to see football on either occasion. Both times it was for dinner on nights when there was no football going on. What a complete waste. Speaking of football, up the Hammers, West Ham won again in Europe last night, 2-0 against Freiburg. Becoming a bit of a habit with them. That's going to wrap up the main part of this morning's show. Just 5 more shows to go, and then you can all take a break from this. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around, please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. But if you do have the time and the inclination, please stick around. I have nowhere else to be. I'll be back with the Craic right after this final word from our key show sponsor. just while we're enjoying that music, have you noticed? You see the fairy lights in the background? You see how much more subtle they've become? Yes, man needs to read instructions, because apparently when I had that strobe effect at the beginning of the week, it's because I had the wrong setting on. Spent £4 on those, and they have multiple settings. £4. Money well spent, I'd say. Let's go right the way back to the very beginning of the chat, because it's only fair that we should do so for those that were here first. And very first today was our friend Glenn Johnson. Morning, Glenn. Hope you're fit and well, my friend. Footy was there as well. I think you were seconds apart, but good morning, chaps. Good of you to join us. Our question master, Steel Wrist Superfan, is here as well. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. We'll be on to Gary's question of the day in just a moment. Jim Turner says, good morning. Good morning to you as well, Jim. Neil Edwards was here. It was actually Neil that bought me these. Yes. Thank you, Neil. Thankfully, didn't insist that I wear them at lunch yesterday, although I did for a little while. Ken Hatcher says, good morning. Good morning to you as well, Ken. Andy Darvell is here as well. Dan Cullen is here. And our friend Yash over on YouTube is also here. Andy Darvell enjoying the hacked glasses combo. It was a bit of a last minute rush because I couldn't get the glasses under the hat, as you can see there. So I had to have the hat on backwards. And as a friend of mine used to say, baseball hat, total twat. I can relate to that. Chris Ford, good morning, gang. Good morning, good morning. Have we got a bit of health and safety? Health and safety on the show, on the job. No health and safety here. Let's have a look. Yeah, Dan Cullen. It is a weird thing, isn't it? I mean, I'm with Footy, who does say humbug again. I can't get myself all excited about Christmas and what have you. Once the kids were grown up, it ceased to be the great thing that it was. But even when the kids were young, you do the Christmas dinner, lunch, whatever it might be, you'd sit down in the evening and say, well, that was it. We spent the last 2 weeks running around like blue arse flies. We've spent an absolute fortune. We've paid £500 for a roast dinner we could have done any time. And there we are. It's all over and done with. So, sticking with the festivities, there is our question of the day, courtesy of Mr. Muirhead. What is your Christmas or New Year tipple? As I say, and I missed one. My wife insists that there is sherry in the house. It's only her that drinks it. She also insists that there are snowballs in the house. It's only her that drinks it. And I forgot one. She buys a bottle of Baileys every single Christmas because she has it in her head that I like Baileys. And I do. If we go on a cruise, if we're on a cruise for 2 weeks, I will have one, sometimes two Baileys the entire time we're on the ship. Over Christmas, I might have one glass on ice, and she buys a bottle like that, and yet it all goes. I can't. It must be evaporation. I'm sure my wife, asleep on the sofa, purely a coincidence. Tristan Mays has joined us as well. As some of you that follow cranehub.net are aware, he is on his travels. He's currently. Last I heard, he was in the States. If anybody was listening, I don't know if they were, but he was on the Jeremy Vine show a couple of weeks ago after Glenn Edwards staged that remarkable rescue from the building in Reading. And they contacted the Jeremy Vine show on Radio 2, I think it is, contacted Tristan as the industry expert that he most certainly is, all the way from the States. But he is now in Canada. Yes. Dan Cullen, a good Irish coffee at Christmas. Yeah, that's a good call. That is a good call. I couldn't argue with that. Don't really do those anymore either. And has anyone ever pulled one off at home with the perfect separation? I know about the sugar. I know about pouring it on the back of the spoon. I know about all those things. I have never, ever once delivered an Irish coffee and gone, there you go, like a hot Guinness. At no point have I ever done that. If anybody has any advice, please let me know. And there is Tristan Mays over in Canada. Yes, guess he's on the age of the zero tail swing excavator. Ken went for 35. He was almost on the money. Dan Cullen went for 15. Footy went for 10. I'd have gone for somewhere between 10 and 15. But no, it was 30 years. Let's have a look. Yeah, Jim Turner saying we had a 0 tail swing 3-ton Kubota over 20 years ago. I'd say proper sized machines in the 90s. I think that's absolutely true. Yeah, lots of people liking the Bobcat. Bear with me 1 second. Just going to get rid of something off my screen. Yeah, that's all for all votes in favour of the Bobcat. Andy Darvell says the only machine I've ever turned over was a roughneck skip loader. I do remember the roughneck. About the size of that Bobcat, but had no stability whatsoever. That Bobcat looks fantastically versatile tool, though. Yeah, and yet here in the UK, we look at compact wheel loaders and we go, nah, not for us, thank you. We'll do something completely different. Go to the continent. Every man and his wife has got a compact wheel loader. Chris Fulton says, nice bit of kit, that compact loader. Could have done with that 0 tail swing about 10 minutes ago, but that's a different story. Oh, has there been scrapage? Chris? Was there a coming together? Sounds like there may have been. Very ingenious idea that was for the stripping of cars. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm surprised. I've had this notion about construction equipment manufacturers, and I've said this many times. I've always thought that where major manufacturers, the major OEMs, your Caterpillars, your Komatsus, Hitachi, JCB, Uncle Tom Cobley and all, where they are really, really good is where they make 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 of a single thing. Where they, in my opinion, where they tend to be less proficient is where they're making custom machines, which is why the likes of Larini in Italy and Craic here in the UK, they are the modifiers that take a standard Volvo, Komatsu, Caterpillar and turn it into a high reach machine. And I've long had the belief that really and truly the major manufacturers are not good at custom machines, and yet you would have to think that Kobelco must be close on a custom machine. I can't imagine they are selling those in the thousands. They must be selling those in the hundreds, possibly, around the world. Very specialised application, but fantastic machine. Dan Cullen has joined the turnover club, not the Apple type. I turned over a 5-ton machine 20 years ago. Never made that mistake again on bad ground. Yeah, well, I've turned over. I've laid on their side, all largely controlled. I've laid 3 machines on their side, and one of those definitely wasn't my fault. The other 2, definitely my fault, but one was definitely not my fault. I was in France with, if anybody remembers, the telescopic handler company, FDI Sambron, and they'd set up a rough terrain course. So you had sort of undulating, because of the nature of the machine, you couldn't actually see where your wheels were. So there was a guy stood in front of me going to me like this, turn the wheel that way, turn the wheel that way, turn the wheel that way. And then he went, and that was where the machine went over on its side. So I ended up climbing out of the side, which was now the roof. Not my fault. I'm taking no responsibility for it whatsoever. Let's have a look. Dan Cullen asked if I was showing the same machine again. No, but we have shown a similar machine, which, as I think you corrected, was actually a Hyundai. Kobelco is a great brand. One of my favourites. Yeah, one of my favourites. I think it was initially the colour that attracted me, but the more you get to know Kobelco and what they're all about, they do some fantastic machines. They really do. And I've been lucky enough to work with both Kobelco Europe and Kobelco Australia in the last couple of years. Fantastic bunch of people. So yeah, I'll stand by that. Let's have a look. Oh, that's good news. Dan Cullen says, I'm going back to work on Monday for Ross. That's Ross Redhead. Fantastic news. Fantastic news. Give him my regards when you see him, if you see him, of course. Mick Norton's in the house. Morning, Mick. Thank you very much indeed. Well, thanks for being here, but also thank you very much for all your help on yesterday's chat about NPAWS and the like. Dan Cullen said, could be West Ham's year, Mark. Nah, I don't think that's going to be the case. Callum McIntosh is here. Morning, Callum. What's the crack? what's the crack with you? I already know what the crack is with Callum. I don't know if you're following Callum over on, and I'm sure he's on other platforms as well, but I see him on LinkedIn. Callum is on a real drive. Callum does lots of drives. He did the whole red diesel drive. He's got a bee in his bonnet about drugs and alcohol on site, which I back him wholeheartedly with. But he's currently working to raise awareness on things like plant theft. So more power to you, sir. Even though Callum is no longer the El Presidente up at the SPOA in Scotland, he is still fighting the good fight. So good luck to you, Callum. More power to you, sir. Dan Cullen says, how was your lunch yesterday? Did you have a good time? I had a fantastic time. Yeah. I mentioned at the very top of the show, and I think Dan may have joined us a little bit later. Three guys, all in their 50s, all in the business. You know, I do this, but you know, obviously Neil's got his finger on the pulse of construction, the construction industry, and our other friend Steve is from the demolition industry. But we only spent about 10 minutes actually talking about the biz. The rest of the time was comparing medical ailments and what types of drugs we're all on, because we are men of a certain age. But it was absolutely fantastic. It does remind me, and I know I've brought it on myself. I do tend to spend an awful lot of time sat in these four walls talking to myself. And when you go out and you meet up with people and you just sit there and laugh and take the mickey out of each other, you do remember, actually, if you choose your company wisely, people are quite good. Quite good. Chris Ford says, question of the day, sparkling wine, my Christmas dinner and a sherry later, with or without trifle. I frankly, I would drop the sherry and just have the trifle. Bottle of Cointreau with a bit of ice. Oh, I haven't had that in years. Let's have a look. Mick Norton says, Red Heart bottled Guinness brewed in Irvinstown, Northern Ireland. Red Heart bottled Guinness? Never heard of such a thing. I normally have at least a litre of Baileys on Christmas Day, plenty of beer and rum too. Have you ever seen a Boxing Day, Jim? Because I wouldn't. Question, how come doctors' medicals don't cover you on jobs? You need a particular medical to be on a certain contract. Is it another money-making scam? Well, I don't know the official answer to that, but I'm going to take a wild stab at yes. It is a money-making scam. Yeah. Particularly when you think that some of the medicals that you have to pay for in order to qualify for work are actually done by the same doctors that would have done it for nothing if you were doing it for example, health insurance. Weird, right? In the UK, they want larger machines, loaders for some reason. Yeah, which explains the absence of our compact wheel loaders. Thank you very much indeed for that. Let's have a look. Baileys and ice, says Gary Muirhead, with a wee whiskey top-up. Wee whiskey top-up. Does Baileys need additional booze? Does it? Yeah, it probably does, doesn't it? Chris Ford says, a bit more than scrapage. I now need a new cab on the rear of the machine. The bend of the tree and a lump of concrete in the track sort of that. I think the word you're looking for there, Chris, is bucker. Footy says, on the 25-ton rear tipper, articulated the ground, gave way underneath me and it rolled. It's the only machine I've ever done it to. Jim Turner says, I'd say the Kobelco scrapping machine is just a pat blade machine with the blade swapped and the pat needs powering. The pat feeds powering the grabber. Yeah, you could well be right, actually. That Kobelco will be on order. You wouldn't want to walk into Molson's yard and... No, you wouldn't be able to walk into Molson's yard and buy one. How come you have to wait for new machines when they've got loads in their yards? Well, I mean, I guess a lot of them have to go through pre-delivery checks and that kind of thing. And I do think there is a difference between stock machines and machines that are a bit more special. If ever you go past the world headquarters of JCB, lots of backhoe loaders, lots of telehandlers, but not many excavators and so on down the line. So, yeah, playing the averages, I guess. Dan Cullen says Facebook was lagging this morning. It's coming to the end of the year, and it, like I, am getting worn out. Was there Brussels sprouts on your Christmas lunch yesterday? There were not, because none of us had the Christmas lunch. It was available, but none of us had it. There goes a bit of a joke itself. I I had a steak and ale pie. Delicious it was too. Neil Edwards decided to forego the starter. I did not, but he decided to forego the starter to make way for a whole half a chicken. His whole half a chicken looked more like whole half of budgie. I've never seen such disappointment on a man's face. So he made up with it with a nice hefty dessert. But no Brussels sprouts whatsoever. Let's have a look. How do I buy this? And Cointreau is really nice. How do I'm fairly is that orange juice? Don't know. Bailey's and Cointreau is called an orgasm. Bailey's and Cointreau with ice, called an orgasm. I may have to give my wife one of those just by way of a change. Boom, boom, psh. Yes, I'm here. I'm not here a week because the week is over and done with, but I'm here all next week. Speaking of which, I do need to remind you all, I'm here for 5 days next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then that's it. That's me done. That will be the 22nd of December. I'm not back in harness until the 8th of December. Now, my plan basically is to try and pre-record a few bits and pieces so that we can hit the ground running when we come back. One of the issues we're going to have is the content coming from the manufacturers basically I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, to be honest, but I think the content coming from the manufacturers is going to stop either now or early next week, and they're probably not going to be launching much in the way of new films for us to bring you much until the middle of January. So I may have to pre-record some bits and pieces just to set the wheels in motion and give us some talking points. Don't forget, I do have this idea in mind. I'm going to throw it into the chat right now when I can find it. That's not it. That's it. There we are. I do have this idea of doing like a radio phone-in show. So we'll just gather together as many recorded messages from you guys as we possibly can, and then I'll just play them one at a time, and then answer your questions, respond to your criticism, cry gently into my hat, or whatever it might be. So if you've got any messages, that's how you do it. You can go to speakpipe.com/demolition news. Gary Muirhead says, talking about machine tip over, did you see the Komatsu video where they pushed a 20-ton down a hill to demonstrate how strong their cabs are? It's, in actual fact, they did one of those. And this may even be the one you're talking about. They did one of those about probably 15 years ago, I would guess. And they gave me a copy of that video, and I put it on YouTube. And for a long while, it was our most viewed video. I think I called it Ultimate Cab Test or something like that. Still over on YouTube now. I haven't looked at it in years, but I know this is going back to the time when 10,000 views on a video was remarkable. I'm fairly sure that one topped 500,000. May well have gone beyond that by now. I honestly don't know. Need to go and check. Dan Cullen says, yes, that will be an interesting concept. I reckon you'll need to give us a few questions to answer. No, it's the other way round, Jim. The other way round. It's you ask, not necessarily asking questions, but what I want is, either suggestions for the show, criticisms of the show, suggestions on plant training, on competence cards, on health and safety, on the way that people in the industry are treated, toxic work environments, anything that you think might be of interest to the rest. So basically, you become the content creator. You come up with things that please, displease, or otherwise. Stuff that gets you goat, stuff that makes you piss boil, that kind of thing. Leave us a message up to 90 seconds, audio message, speakpipe.com/demolition news, and I will gather those together, and then we'll just do a dedicated show purely based on those. And if you could do that over the Christmas period, that would be even better, because as I say, it's going to be, we're 3 Christmases into this show now, and I know how it works. We come back after Christmas, and we've got bugger all to work with. So if you would like to come up with something like that, please. Yes, but the initial question drives our content. I tell you what, I'll phone in myself. I'll ask myself a few questions. Why are you wearing that ridiculous pair of glasses and stuff? But we'll come up with something. We always find something to talk about here, don't we? Let's face it. So yes, full week next week, and then, as I say, you've got a break from 22nd of December to the 8th of January. So I hope you've got plenty planned. Dan Cullen says, yes, I have a few ideas. Dan, far away. To be perfectly honest, it would just be lovely to get some other voices on the show. And I've just realised now I'm saying that I did actually suggest the idea of leaving a link in the chat today so you could pop up on the show. We're now at the end of the show and I didn't do it. My apologies. I do need to set an alarm to do that on a Friday, and I will be doing that at some point in the future. You know me, Mark, when I've got a bee, I have a bee to boil. Yes, absolutely. Right, people. Go forth and enjoy what remains of your Friday. Go forth and enjoy your weekend, but make sure you're back here on Monday morning, 10 a.m. for the final 5 shows of 2023. And then I have to learn to write 2024 in my little notebook. Gary Muirhead has jumped the gun. Can I ask a question? How do you get fluff out of your belly button? So 2 answers to that. Apparently Kobelco actually do like an extension nibbler thing. It does mean you've got to have a 20-ton excavator in your front room, but it's a very, very fine. That'll do it. But don't throw that belly button fluff away. Save it up, lag your loft. It will save you a fortune, good for the environment. Everyone will love you for it. Let's have a look. Stick something on the WhatsApp and I'll get on my soapbox and you'll have loads of content. I will do so. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Stay safe. See you Monday. Indeed. I didn't see that coming. Wash your belly button, suggests Dan. See, once again, we were minding our own business, talking about compact wheel loaders, and now we're on belly button fluff. Footy says, ho, ho, ho. Humbug. And Gary is going to finish things off with enjoy your weekend, guys. And Chris Ford, have a good one. Catch you all next week. You will indeed. Everybody, have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you on Monday, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to call it a week and a day and a year. I'll see you all very soon. All the best.